What's cracking? It's your homie Lil Mystery. You are now listening to the Emo Brown Podcast, the downest fool in Chula Vista since AC Slater, homie.
I met some vatos along the way, like Molly and Blanco from East LA. Some of them cruise, some cruise on by. Got a few homies I love till I die. From all of my homeboys I try to learn not to get busted or get burned. Keep the black guys off my ass, living my life and having a blast. We live our lives in our own way.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Emo Brown The Podcast. Today, Angel Cortez. From the fucking streets of Santa Ana to going to where? Afghanistan? As far as Afghanistan, come back home to where he roosts. We're going to learn all about Angel Cortez today. Compita, thank you for making the drive down from fucking Garden Grove all the way to San Diego. First off, how was that this morning?
It's not bad of a drive because it's right after work, but also right before, like let's say the weekend time when everybody's driving down there or driving back up, whatever. It was easy.
Tell us a little bit about your story, man. Tell us a quick overview of where you started, where you from, where you at.
And so I will, but before I start, I just want to right off the bat, and Bobby helped me get to the point where I'm at because Bobby, he had heard about me from a friend, and he started checking all my stuff, and then he's like, hey, come over here. I want you to, and then his friend was like, I want you to meet, his friend's Paul Gomez, who's been at Hurley and Nike.
Hurley and Nike, yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, I want you to meet Angel. So he had already looked up some of my stuff. And after the first meeting, at the end, he's like, you ever think about running for office or anything like that? And I remember just laughing.
Fucking Bobby, bro. He wants everyone to be in politics, man.
And but that was years ago. But now on this is like the first podcast where I what I'm asking of the public, of the people, is to put their hope, their faith, and their time into what I'm doing and what I'm saying, because the sleeping giant, the Chicano community needs leaders. Our youth in general needs leaders, and based off my history, I reach further past Chicanos, past all that, but the Chicano community needs leaders. So there's multiple ones, right? But I feel like I am one.
There you go.
I'm not going to go anywhere. So I'm asking people, the people, to put their faith in me. Who I am. I'll start off with the newest thing and then go back, right? So recently I donated a kidney to my friend's wife. I teach.
As admirable as fuck already, bro. Off to a great start. Like,
do we have a superhero?
Jeez, the Mexican Marvel character over here. Go unlocked.
I teach anywhere from billionaires to SWAT teams, sheriffs, to the average individual how to better prepare themselves. We're not just a shooting company. We are a survival company. As something as simple as how to filter your own water, how to tie knots and stuff like this, like survival stuff, right? Because I spent some time in the special operations community. I've got, and based off that history, I've gone to work with National Geographic, the History Channel, and when I first got out, I started sharing my combat footage on Instagram, and it quickly got millions and millions of views because I've been very fortunate and unfortunate to have experienced war to that level. There's a lot of people in not just this world, but in the United States who enter the military, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they see combat to this level, or even people in the special operations community, just because they're a SEAL, Green Beret, Ranger, whatever, doesn't even mean that they saw that much combat, because I know a bunch of special operation guys who have seen nothing, and it's not their fault, right? I got to see enough that the dudes who I was right next to are now giving TED Talks, writing books. Word on the street is that there's going to be a movie.
Very nice.
So I was an Army Ranger, so I was in the special operations community. I did 8 years, so almost a decade in there. Wow. And before that, because of that, I got out and I was doing a lot of work in the low income and veteran community, and it needed a name to start funding these things that I was doing, right? So I created OG Pumpkin.
OG Pumpkin, great name, bro.
OG Pumpkin isn't just a military brand, because just like most veterans, I do a lot of things, right? I skate, I surf, I I'm an active participant in the martial arts community. So I've competed in the ring, on the mats. I train just about every day. And we started selling rash guards. We started selling T-shirts, skateboards, and people believe in the mission so much that to this day I have almost 600 people with the OG Pumpkin design tattooed on them.
Oh, wow.
Permanent fans.
Yes.
Permanent fans,
Yeah.
man.
I've spent a couple years in academia. I'm 2 classes away from a bachelor's in nutrition and dietetics.
Very nice.
So that what people don't know, that is the route to become a registered dietitian. So there's a nutritionist who anybody can call themselves that. There's no legal backing for that. For example, I can't call myself a doctor and then give you advice because I'll get sued. I can't say I'm a lawyer and tell you to do this and that and because I can get sued. But a nutritionist, anybody can call themselves a nutritionist. There's no legal backing to that. But a registered dietitian, you have to go to school for 4 years to get your bachelor's. You have to do the internship at a hospital and then take your exam. So I'm 2 classes away from
Look at you, man.
earning my bachelor's. And before all that, I was a gang member.
Go ahead.
In Southern California, I sold guns and drugs. And not to, what was the word I'm looking for? Not to justify it, but when my homies were selling guns and drugs and buying rims and cars, I was going home to feed my brother and my sister, to tell them like, hey, what has been denied to us for years, food, clothes, we are now going to get it. And that's what I did. And before that, I was just a first generation malnourished, not educated kid.
But again, look at you now.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't do these things out of like, you know, glory and luxury. It sounds like you did all of these things out of necessity and survival.
Yeah.
You know, you were trying to fill voids where there was plenty of voids, I'm sure, been growing up, you know, like.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds like you came from a background that wasn't as, you know, as easy as most of us have it down here, which is an interesting case. And I was telling him, I was like, I'm legit nervous sitting down and talking to Angel about his past and everything. Cause
Is you whoop that ass?
well, cause I talk, we have a good time, you know, we mess around. And then I was talking to Bobby. I was like, yo, fool, so what's up? How do I approach this? And I was like, I don't want to bring him on Metiche Monday. Cause you know, the structure on Metiche Monday is just a little wild. It's out there. There really is no structure. There is, but the structure is chaos by design. I said, I don't want to do that with Angel. I want to sit down and I want to learn what he's about because he's got a lot of information that he is in a great position to divulge to people.
Absolutely.
People, our demographic, Mexican American, first generation, Chicanos, whatever pronoun, anything you want to use. If it applies to what I just mentioned, Angel's not, there could be worse guys to look up to is what I'm trying to say. This guy's got his shit together.
And I heard also, Angel, that, you know, I like how you started. The most recent thing, most selfless thing you've done is share an organ with someone, right?
Yeah.
Like, it speaks to your heart, man. You know?
And I didn't, as a kid, I didn't say, hey, I want to be a president. I didn't want to be in the political world. I'm just trying to, first of all, eat. Because there'd be plenty of times where it was dinner time and, you know, your stomach is rumbling as a kid.
Yep.
And to that point, I already knew like there's no food. So don't even ask for food because that's stupid because you already know there's no food. You're sleeping on the floor. So where I'm at now and where I'm going is not something that I wanted to do, that I had plans to do it. It kind of just, I was heading that direction. And then Bobby's one of the individuals that was like, you know, what are you going to do with this? Because I could easily just like, you know, live my best life, right?
Yeah,
Not have to worry about the veteran community, the low income community, not have to do any of that, and then just ball out by myself and have a good time or not. But that's not me, man. So through like OG Pumpkin, man, I've thousands and thousands of dollars we've given back to the veteran community, the lung community. Most recently, I bought over $4,000 worth of skateboards.
Very nice.
And because I skate, right? So what I would do is I would go to the hoods in from East Los to San Diego and anything in between and dress up in like in a uniform and go skate. So a lot of the dudes, the kids there would be like, what the fuck is
What's
this?
this guy fucking doing? What?
Yeah. So
They're like, do a kickflip, fool.
and then I would do that and more. So they'd be like, fuck.
Este güey sí sabe.
And then I would hand out boards, tell them, hey, follow OG Pumpkin, check out what we're doing. We do a lot of community events, come out, and then also talk to them like, hey, man, I came from neighborhoods just like this. you can do more, and so on and so on. Bought a bunch of food, and during COVID, where everybody was losing their jobs, it was a moment for me where I was becoming really successful. I went on Andy Stump's podcast, and Andy Stump's been on Joe Rogan's podcast like 10 times by now. So as you can imagine, the traction that I got from that and people buying it, and what I've always said is anything past rice and beans in my house, it's extra.
Luxury.
It's extra.
Yeah.
So as all these sales were coming in, what I was doing was going to food banks, dropping off food, or going to Target and putting $400 on the card, scratching the back, and putting it in the story. Be like, hey, whoever needs stuff for kids or the elderly, come buy it.
We got you.
And the limit would be $40, and then I would call the transactions, and then everybody was spending like $40. So like, but now obviously it's bigger, so now chances are high there's a shithead or two following it, right? So I kind of stopped doing this, putting hundreds of dollars on cards and scratching them off and putting it on there and show it to them. So now what I do is more direct stuff.
Because this is why I want to bring him on too. We're learning, we're figuring out our way and trying to structure what we're doing. And it's always awesome to find somebody who's already been doing it and been successful. I want to know where all this came from, man. To take it back. You're from Santana, Garden Grove, grew up at. You already mentioned you were in a gang. How does one end up in a gang? I mean, I know the old cliche about probably broken home, filling a void.
It was, man, I was like a not necessarily innocent kid, but what it was is I was in my own world. So I grew up skating. My cousins had money, so anytime I would go over to their house, they had skateboards, and I would always use it up so much that their mom would be like, fucking Angel just comes here and the board costs a lot. He just uses it up. Or I would go to a friend's house, and then finally somebody gave me a board. And then so I just stuck with it more, and I was just in my own little world. And then one day in junior high, some of the gang members took one of my friends' board, and I can tell they didn't want to give it back. And I wanted to do something, but I knew as by myself I couldn't. And my group of skaters, they weren't fighters. They're good people, but they're not.
They weren't about that life.
Yeah. So they kind of just let it go, and I'm like, fuck this, man. Like I can't. This is not me. I had to make a choice there. I could either not get involved in the gang life, but every now and then would get punked and be okay with that. And I'm like, and I've seen a lot of dudes go that route. And if that's the way you want to go about it, that's fine. Probably better than the route that I did, because what I did was like, no, fuck that. I need backup. And then there was another gang in there that was like, hey, I don't like those guys. And I was like, hey, I don't like them either. And then we started hanging out. Next thing you know, I backing up the gang. Then I get jumped in, and then the violence increased like fast, man. Like by 15, I already had my crew within the gang. I was leading the charge, but I would never ask a guy to do anything that I wouldn't have done or haven't done. And then none of them ever told me no, because they're like, I've seen him.
Because you led by example.
I've seen him do this and that. So then when the first time somebody tried to kill me, that's when I amped what I was doing, because I got stabbed in the head and in the back.
Damn it.
And I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. You're going to do this. And then I went to go buy a bulletproof vest, a shotgun, a couple of revolvers, and it was on. And the thing is like, and then I started selling drugs, because I would see dudes like with money, and I'm like, yo, dude, I want some of that. And then I would buy stuff for my brother and my sister. So I was doing this stuff for my brother and my sister, doing things not to get fucked with, but I got lost in the world because of my upbringing, and obviously how I felt of the lack of love, my dad being physically abusive, and just, it was never a question of if I would get beat. It was, when am I going to get beat? My mom hitting us, but also more emotional, like telling us that we ruined her life,
which is worse than getting physically beat,
dude.
Man. That's permanent. Longer, that's a permanent scar.
Yeah. You have testosterone, the peer pressure. So I got lost in it, man. And
it's easy to get lost in that world.
It is.
From the outside looking in. Because like you said, I took the other path. I feel like everybody once in their life as a young man, you get that fork in the road where it's like, oh shit.
Especially junior high. Right?
Yeah,
junior
it's
high is like a telltale.
I'm afraid for that, man, with the boys, and I'm afraid because I have 3 little kids, 10, 8, and 5, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I feel sometimes I got lucky with the choices I've made, but there's going to come that chance in the little kids' lives where it's like, all right, Am I with them or am I doing this on my own? I said, fuck, I'd rather just do this on my own. Just because I saw too many things in my family with my cousins, like I'd rather just fucking do my thing.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like it's a really easy transition because the gang provides love, provides acceptance, provides a helpful ear when you need to say some shit or get something off your chest. They're there, you know?
And I got lost in it, man. And but things just started building up more and more. And next thing you know, we were doing like 95% of all violent activity being produced from that gang was me and my crew.
Jeez.
And
so you were what, 15 to 17 roughly?
Yeah. So the older I got, the smarter I got. And I was doing everything. I always believed that if you're going to do dumb things, be smart about it. So like all my, if they weren't revolvers, I made brass catchers for all the pistols. Anytime we did something like really big, the drill, the protocol was anything that you're wearing, we're burning. So like I remember one of my friends had like a brand new fresh pair of Air Force Ones, and then, all white, Nelly with his Air Force One song.
Boom,
so around that time was a big
Everybody
deal.
won the Air Force One.
Circa what, 2005, 2006, 2007?
So I was like, yo, dude, the shoes too. And he's like, what? I just bought them. I'm like, no, man, like we're not going to get caught up because you don't want your shoes to get thrown in the fire. Like everything, any weapon that we use.
Attention to detail.
Was gone. And because I went as far as to go take CSI classes. Yeah. I told them I wanted to be in CSI, but I just wanted to see what they were looking for.
How not to get caught.
How not to get caught.
And that, if you're going to do dumb shit, be smart about it, bro. That's for real. If you're going to do some dumb shit, just make sure that you know exactly where you're going to get caught up in and get, that's some natural born leader abilities and fucking attributes that you were fucking accumulating at a young age.
Yeah. But the thing is, they saw that. They saw that and they fed me their bullshit to keep doing things for them. And I'm like, dude, this isn't, one day I was just like, this isn't what I want to do in my life.
You didn't see a future in it anymore?
There's no future. I knew right away, anytime we were, gang unit fucked with us or whatever, or the ones that would talk with us, I would like ignore them. But I knew like, yo, like he's right. There's no future in this. So one day I brought everybody in my friend's garage and by that time it had already been a couple of weeks where I knew I was wrong, but then I had to voice it and actually do something about it. I brought them in and I told the crew like, hey man, I led us down this path. I fucked up. We weren't supposed to be doing this. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. We can still make money. We can still do things, but this is not the route. We need to do it differently. So I told the gang at that time, some of the older heads had done some stuff that went to jail and prison. And then the ones that were out, that were still out. And like I said, we were doing 90% of all the violent crime. So I told them like, hey, we're out and I'm taking everybody. So you can either be okay with us or we can fight. You know what I'm going to do. And I made everybody go back to school. And if they couldn't go back to school.
Fucking guy, hell yeah.
Brush your teeth in the morning.
Go get that GED, motherfucker.
And if they couldn't go back to school because they fucked it up so much, I made them go to continuation. We all found a job. So even though we were selling drugs, I had a full-time job. Yeah. And it kind of bummed me out that like I would have worked 2 weeks at this place that fixed airplane parts. So anytime an engine would come in, I would take it out of its crate. Anytime they fixed it, do the shipping, give them the parts of the big ass inventory that they need. Like I need this screw, this bolt, this whatever. And I would go find it. I would work for 2 weeks and then I would make more money on a Saturday. And I'm like, fuck. But I'm like, no, dude, this isn't the route.
This dude fucking had prerequisites to be in his crew, fool. He's like, you want to be in my crew? You need a GED. Fuck, hey man.
And they listened, huh?
Yeah, they listened, and that's all that matters.
But then, as you can imagine, some people in other gangs and crews they knew me because I had gone to so many junior highs. And then they obviously those people that I've met went to different high schools, so people knew about me. So when they saw the route that I was going, most of them were like, okay, whatever, leave them alone. But the ones that wouldn't. Because as you can imagine, of years of going back and forth, they weren't going to let it go. And that was the most violent time being part of a gang, actually when I was leaving. And I told the crew, like, hey, we're not going to do this bickering, talking shit, fighting. No. It's all or nothing. That's what we're going to do. And that's what we did, to the point where it's funny how, certain gang members or thugs or whatever think they're cool and badass and tough until certain things happen to them and then they want to go to the law. So one day some stuff happened and I was waiting for the payback. I was all day and night. I was with my bulletproof vest, guns loaded, waiting for them to come. And then they never came. SWAT came. So what happened was
know what that means.
They called.
Somebody said some
told
shit.
on us.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was always smart about everything that he did. So yeah, they raided the 5 houses at once. They found guns, drugs, but nothing that pertained to certain things.
They couldn't link you on a heavy shit.
So, and that's when I was like, dude, like,
that's gotta be a wake up call, Angel. That's gotta be like a legit, like, oh fuck, I gotta drop it all.
No, wait, the wake up call was fucking when I told the crew, like, yo, we're done. We fucked up, but doing this, I'm like, and then nothing happened, right? So I got fucking lucky in that point. We all did. And I joined the army. But the army wasn't an escape, man. I always loved the military. Like, I remember one year, my grandma baked me a cake and she went to the 99-cent store and put toy soldiers on the cake because, and I think I became 10 or 9 because by then it'd been so long of me playing with plastic soldiers on the dirt, making trenches, and because I looked up to them. And now obviously I know better, but what it was is that I would see them and there were things that I wasn't, and they had things that I didn't have. So they were strong physically and mentally. They had love. They had a community. They cared about each other. They were about things bigger than themselves. And so obviously I looked up to all that.
Well, you were exhibiting those traits already at 15 to 17 by assembling your crew, by putting
the wrong way.
The wrong way. Hey, you know what? But it all starts somewhere. Yeah. It all starts somewhere. The CEO and entrepreneur is not just going to all of a sudden one day wake up and be like, oh, this is what it is. You're going to be exhibiting those traits from the from when you're in elementary school all the way up. And you were. You know, you were running crews, you were assembling crews, you were overseeing, and people were reporting to you. You already had that mentality as a youngster, man.
I love the drive to survive constantly, though. I mean, from the time of getting the basic needs met through getting food for your family and your brothers and your sisters, to getting to a point where you recognize your decision making may not only impact you, but those that you care about from your crew. Then being bold enough to make that stand and then deal with those repercussions. I mean, it's been strong in you.
It was, man, and as you can imagine, I didn't have the certain tools to deal with it the best that I could, but I did the best with what I had, right? So I joined, and you know, I wanted to be because I would see like National Geographic or History Channel specials on what was going on in the war,
for sure.
And I wanted to be part of it because, like, when 9/11 happened, dude, I remember distinctly feeling in class like a piece of shit because I couldn't do something about it. Okay. Because I wanted to do something for this country that had done a lot for me because we were poor and this and that. But sooner or later, my mom found out about food stamps and stuff like that because some of us were born here. So the way I saw it was the country that took care of my brothers and sisters and I is in trouble. It is now my turn to take care of it. Yeah. So as soon as I was old enough to join, I joined and IEDs were fucking up soldiers left and right. So I went in there and I was like, hey, I don't know how this works, but IEDs keep killing and wounding soldiers. Like, what can we go after the people or can we find these? Like, how do we do it? And then they told me, and soon before you knew it, I was in Iraq looking for bombs.
Wow, man.
To the point where, you know, I'm digging them out of the fucking ground and cutting wires and you know, doing this and that. And then, so that was like, Iraq was cool, right? But then Afghanistan, that's where it was heavy, man. I've dealt with suicide bombers. I've dealt with bombs on the roads, on the walls, big orchestrated attacks. We made the national headlines 3 times while we were over there. You know, like, and from my point of view,
that's never a good thing. Right? You know, if you're making headlines like that, I
thought everybody was doing this.
Yeah.
I thought everybody around me in every corner of Afghanistan was doing the same fucking thing. And then when we come home and they're like, oh, dude.
Nope, just you guys.
They're like, we got like in 1-2 firefights or
wow.
something.
That's shocking, right?
It is. Yeah. And then I like I was saying, a lot of the dudes are now writing books and giving TED Talks and going on Fox News and talking about their experiences and stuff like that. So when I started sharing, you know, the combat footage and stuff like that on Instagram, because I was always late to social media. Mm-hmm. Like when people had a MySpace, I was like, that's fucking weird. Mm-hmm. And then when I finally got one, everyone's like, bro, I'm on Facebook. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So when I got a Facebook, everyone's like, I'm on Instagram. So I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So then when I finally started posting on Instagram, I was like, I don't know how this fucking works. I don't know what these hashtags are. Like this, it's a hashtag, but that when you made calls, that was either star or pound.
For sure.
Right. So I was like, okay.
If you know the name of the movie you'd
Yeah,
like to see,
yeah,
press
yeah.
pound now. And I'm like, scream.
And then dudes would hit me up. And this right here is the moment where I started reaching not just Chicanos, and not just small people, but people who are really tall, but maybe not muscular or overweight people. Is they would see my combat footage and my pictures, and they would write me messages that were basically the same fucking thing. No offense, man, but you're small. So how did you make it into special operations? And then I would tell them, like, look, man, mental toughness goes a long way for you, man. And you can do a lot. You can do more than what you think you can because your mind is telling you that you can't, or giving you negative thoughts, or telling you to quit, or whatever. And that's kind of where
I love that, man.
the ball rolled.
love that.
You know?
Well, there's not a lot of people that look like us that are doing the things that you're doing and getting noticed for it and getting the acclaim and getting the push. You know, it's like, so you not only represent people who are not bigger, you represent a much larger demographic, bro.
100%.
A much larger demographic.
Because the famous, look, we'll list them off. The famous special operation guys right now, they're on TV, on the shows and all that, is Tim Kennedy. You know, and I got white friends, so something against them. Look, he's white. Andy Stumps, who's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a million times. He's white. Who do we got? We got Matt Best, who owns Black Rifle Coffee, and Evan, and the list goes on. And
white.
so when they see me, dude, I would have Asians, blacks, you know, not just Mexicans, but all other Latinos be like,
Yep.
bro, it makes me feel like I can do it because you look like me.
Sure, man.
You know, and I had no idea how big that was. You think about it. I am in my belief, I feel like I became a man in the military. I thought I was a man outside. I wasn't. I became a man in the military. I knew more about the world. I was not very educated, right? You know, so all the great leadership that I was part of, it was pouring all this knowledge in me. And just to give you a taste of what type of leadership I was lucky enough to learn from, my last section leader is the last guy who got the Medal of Honor.
Oof.
You know,
Oof.
it's Christopher Solis was the one who was just pouring information in me, and I'm
Sponging it all up.
sponging it all up, you know? And so when they were telling me this, I was like, fuck, dude, like you're sending me like heart to heart message, man. Like you're sending it to me. Like, I'm not sure if I'm the right guy. And then more of this happened and more of that happened to the point where, you know, you get to where Bobby's like, you need to do something with that.
You need to create a platform so more people see you. And you did. And you've been doing that.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to, you know, jump into the special op game?
Well, first of all, it's hard because
Is it invite only? Do you have to sign up for it? How does that even happen?
well, once you pass the selection, right? So physically, mentally, dude, it is the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. Okay, at the moment, because actually, what's tougher and harder is actually to keep your spot. So we have a saying in all special operations that it's actually the easiest part is the beginning, the selection. People think that's the hardest part. No, man. Once you pass the selection, you then have to perform every single day at the highest of the high peak level 24/7. You can't fuck up. We work, you know, because it's life and death. And then we work with other countries' special operation units. And if you're right next to them and you fuck up in some way, you're good fucking luck thinking you're going to stay there. And next week, you're still going to have your spot. No, they're going to kick you out. Be like, kick rocks.
Zero room for error.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
You know, so when I got out, I'm not going to lie, man. It felt great. I told my wife, I was like, you know what I like is I don't have that pressure anymore too. 24/7.
Must be a ridiculous amount of stress to carry with you, man, because you can't let your fucking guard down.
And that's why dudes fucking drink. And there's a big alcoholic problem in the fucking veteran community in law enforcement. That's why you have the high number of suicides and so on and so on. And so,
No manches, bro.
I was gonna say, Angel, what I'm hearing as well with that pressure and how you talk about mental toughness, right? And I think that's really it's a tip of your DNA makeup. I mean, you're obviously wired to be a bad motherfucker, but you've had to endure stress from such a young age that it really seems like it prepared you to be as mentally strong as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm pointing that out because I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of youngsters that come from underrepresented communities that have had hardships. And I've always said, like, that's your asset that you can get through that now because it makes you that much more prepared for whatever thing you decide to undertake as an adult.
100%. Like, most dudes who were in the selection with me and finally made it, a lot of these dudes were athletes. Like some of these guys played, they were the high school quarterback star. They went to college, they didn't get picked up, or they were a wrestler, D1, nothing big happened. Maybe they didn't get it on the Olympic team or something, or their dad was in the special operations community and trained them from day one. So I didn't have any of that.
That's a leg up on everything right there, man. Knowing the curriculum.
Yeah, that's why I feel like other people will gravitate to me because they're like, that wasn't not my story.
Yeah, there was nothing in your corner that helped you or facilitated you being in the special operations, an Army Ranger. There was nothing there.
And the only thing that I would say that I did have is what you just mentioned is that I had already been through that stuff that people, it was breaking them. And they were to the point where they're raising their hand and they're like, I'm done.
Oof.
Like, I give up. Because I'm like, bro, like, you haven't ate. That's my childhood.
Yeah.
You haven't slept. You're sleeping on the ground. Okay, whatever. Like, you're being told what to fucking do. Your life fucking sucks.
Yeah,
bro, I've had to admit that since I was a child.
Yeah,
you know. And then, but after I accomplished one thing, what happened was I then asked myself, like, dude, like, if you did that, what else could you do?
Everything.
And then that's what has kind of kept me going. I said, I'll do something, and I'll be like, oh fuck, I can't believe I did this. Okay, well then, what else can you do? And then just keep going.
Tell us a little bit about the company you started, man.
So I was going to school to become a registered dietitian, which was great. And I did that because nobody in my family had gone to college. There's like barely any high school degrees in my family, let alone a college degree. So even though I didn't want to go to college, I was like, I need to do this so my little cousins and brothers and sisters see that, like, hey, we can fucking do school too. You don't have to go join the military to make it. Right. So I went to school, got nothing but A's and B's.
Eso.
And it was great, but then I met my friend, and he's my mentor. He's a mentor and my boss, Michael Dowd. He's a former Navy SEAL. He's like, hey man, I'm starting this company. We're all former or active duty special operation guys. Yeah. Do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, dude, fuck yeah, because before that he had paid for ammo and the range and everything to take a bunch of special operation guys out for the day because there was already some networking done, and he was wanting to see who would be a good fit. And then so after that, he asked me. And so I've gotten to teach SWAT teams in New York, sheriff departments here in SoCal, billionaires, famous actors who you would never think are into the gun community, and they are, but they just can't be vocal or show it on their Instagram.
They can't show that layer of their life to the public eye, you know?
Singers. I've worked with SpaceX engineers. And regular mom and dads or dudes who are like, you know what, I want to learn about survival skills. I want to learn how to manipulate a weapon. We do consulting, we do mentoring and public speaking through Defense Strategies Group. So look up Defense Strategies Group. If you don't like guns, and what they do, I'm not some crazy gun guy. I know where you're coming from. I know why you don't like guns. I agree with you. If look, I got 3 kids. If it were up to me and I could, with the snap of a finger, eliminate all weapons, I would do it. But the reality is, if you take away all the guns and missiles and stuff like that, and you look back in history, mankind was doing that with swords and spears. And then it's when you really look back, whether you like it or not, humanity has always had this thing of going to war and utilizing tools. Probably sure it started with rocks and clubs.
It's a matter of adapting, man. You have to adapt or not, or cease to exist.
Yeah.
It's a reality too.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel I don't have a gun. I've wanted to own a gun and do my thing and learn, but I feel like the best, the safest way to have one in the house is maybe teach everyone in the house about gun control.
100%. And during COVID, so many people were going to the gun lines. I had people in from my classes who I never thought would ask about what gun to buy. Were like, what gun do I buy? And I would have to double check, like, oh shit, like I never thought this person, because they were so far left, would be like, I need a gun, because they realized, oh fuck, this it's a great bubble that the United States has created, where the average individual doesn't need to worry about someone taking over their land or house or whatever. Right. But the reality is, and what COVID exposed, is that at the end of the day, the structure can break down, and then you would have to be dependent on your skills.
Yeah.
Which is another why our company just started growing so much, because they were like, oh, they teach more than just shooting, survival skills and mentoring and becoming physically, mentally tougher, because they realized, fuck, during COVID, the person you're next to, that's who your survival buddy is.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to surround myself with champions,
So that's why when COVID hit, dude, I was not sweating it. My friends and I were not sweating anything because we had spent years and years
prepping it, getting there, getting
these skills that were very useful. And
what's the first thing that fucking happened as soon as the pandemic hit? Well, motherfuckers wanted to buy all of the toilet paper. It's like all that shit. That was the first thing that happened. It's like, fuck, we're gonna have to fight for toilet paper now.
Yeah,
it's true, man.
Yeah.
You know what? We should take a nice little team outing and go up north and get sign up for some classes. I think that'd be awesome.
Yo, come out, man. It'd be an honor to have you guys out there, man, because there's a lot of shooting companies out there. And you'll have like a guy, nothing against law enforcement, but you'll have a guy they'll say, 15 years in law enforcement, come and train with me, 20 years. And you realize that they got in like 0 gunfights. And
you're like, 1 weekend in Iraq and come with me. I have a weekend in Afghanistan.
And that's what we tell our students. Like, look, you're not paying for me to tell you to run this drill or me watch you or how to better manipulate a gun. What you're really paying when you work with us is the experience, because I have seen firsthand what happens to the individual psyche and within yourself once you are put in a serious, stressful life and death situation.
Talk about that. What do you see?
Well, because you think what happens is people think, like almost like in a fight, like, oh, I don't need to train martial arts because when I fucking see red, I'm going to fuck this dude up. Good.
For 15 seconds, and then you're going to run out of all energy. Good
luck, bro. Because the reality is we don't fall to our expectation. You fall to the level of training and so if it's let's say a jiu-jitsu match or a gunfight, you are not going to be a black belt, and then you're not going to train and shoot like a Army Ranger or Navy SEAL. You're going to shoot as well as you've been shooting and training, because that is what happens. And so we can't shoot at our students, but what we can do and what we do in every class is we put them through a stress course, not this bullshit run 10 meters and go shoot. No, you're going to
stress course.
You're going to carry over a sandbag that's over 100 pounds up this hill, run down. There's a rope with a kettlebell. You're going to pull it with your hands, run over this berm, shoot a target, run to the next berm.
Damn it.
Son of a bitch.
There you go. And
shoot off my dick.
And that feeling when you're not as fresh and shooting, dude, so that right there,
is that day one stress?
Yeah.
That's right now. If we go up there, we sign up.
Yeah. That's what
Angel's going to say, all right, homie, I need you to carry a small person on your back and shoot these targets. That's what we're doing.
Because that's what happens. That feeling where you're like, oh fuck. And you're not thinking as clearly.
Totally.
That is, and you have to rely on your training.
I feel like we should go do that just to get a fucking nice gauge of where we are in life. Of where we are.
So when we talk shit to each other, we really know.
When I talk shit to you, be like, bitch, I'm gonna wink mine because I know you didn't finish that course, fool. I know you didn't get far in that course, fool. Oh my God. So this is concurrent. Is this a type of training that's available on a 7 days a week basis?
So we run public courses, but we also run private courses. Some of our clients don't want to wait for the public course or be with people they don't know. So
that's very true.
Monday through Friday, if you want to set up a private half day, full day, we can do that. It's how we're available 24/7.
I see you side of this, bro. I see a legit necessity. We've seen things go sideways. We've seen things happen. We've seen things go down here in our own neighborhood. Like through the pandemic, I feel like legitimately shit got run through like a truth filter in the pandemic. Maybe the system didn't break down, but fuck, there was some structural damage that was exposed that maybe we've been kind of covering or not even looking. That shit came. Yeah.
People broke down. I was in school and there was a buddy who lifted weights. He's a, very strong individual, and or what I thought was physically, mentally strong, because I was like, this dude kills it at the gym. I like that.
Yeah.
Because most likely he's mentally strong as well. And when COVID started happening, he was like panicking. He's like, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? And I looked at him and I'm like, bro, you are not who or what I thought you were. And
you're like, out of my circle.
Yeah.
Took his lunch money.
It's like, damn, you look big, but now you're buying me lunch.
it kind of did happen.
Yeah, you punked him right into reality. It's like, damn, fool, look at you, all those plates.
The mental toughness, though, man. I mean, again, you said it a few times, and that sounds like something you've cultivated from the time you were young, out of necessity to a place now where you harness it as a craft. What are some ways that a person can become mentally tough?
Yeah. So to become mentally tough, you don't have to join the special operations community. I think it's within the individual. You just have to work at it. And I failed because before I get into your question, I have failed multiple times. But I have been successful at the right moments and when it mattered the most. And that is part of being mentally tough, that you will test yourself to a point where you fail, and it doesn't mean that you don't have it. It just means you weren't ready for it at that moment.
I don't think I want to be trained or be around somebody who's never failed. That's the biggest fucking facade. That's the biggest smoke screen. It's like, I don't want to learn how to stay on top. I want to know what happens when you fall and you have to get back up and build it all over again. I want to be taught by somebody like that. It's like, I don't want to be somebody that says it's been green light since day one. It's been this, nah, man, you've been fortunate. You've been lucky. Yeah. I want to know somebody's gone every fucking red light, every pothole, had to change multiple tires. The fucking car broke down. Now it's on fire. I'm on foot. My fucking shoes are worn out. No, I want to learn from that guy. How the fuck did you get there?
And that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
So I think for civilians, hands down, from what I know so far, is jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've competed in Muay Thai. I've been training since 2014. I've been training and competing since 2014. And nothing against Muay Thai. Muay Thai is great. But after training jiu-jitsu, I broke my foot in a Muay Thai tournament. And then so after that,
Muay Thai is tough. Well, fuck that. Muay Thai is super tough.
And you have to be tough.
Yeah.
Right? You have to. And sometimes I'm too tough for my own good. I broke my second metatarsal in my fight in the first round, and I still fought 2 more rounds.
Yeah.
I still fought 2 more rounds because I was like, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Yeah. It turns out I broke something.
Yeah. But you weren't a bitch. But you weren't a bitch.
And at the Airbnb that night I was like,
Ben Gay, all the shit on his leg, fool.
I was like, guys, it fucking hurts.
There's nothing worse than 2 shins clanking together, bro.
I can imagine.
That's gotta hurt. Oh my God. Good on you, man.
But it's jiu-jitsu. And I say that because jiu-jitsu is really a martial arts where the smaller person can. And me having 2 daughters, all my kids train.
Good. Nice.
And that right there I think it has to do something with being so close, right? Because in Muay Thai, sometimes you're just at your bag, or maybe someone's just holding mitts, right? But then you're not. But jiu-jitsu, you're like strangling each other, right? There has to be that trust. So I feel like there's a connection faster and stronger, which makes you want to keep at it longer. And you fail a lot, right? You think every day in training, you fail at least 10 times. You know, it's going to happen. Somebody strangled you first. Yeah. Somebody almost made you pass out first, Yeah. And that's the one thing that as a dad that I've told the kids, because I didn't want to be that dad that's like, mijo, you're going to fucking play baseball and you're going to play soccer and you're going to do this. You're going to do that. So, you know what? You guys can play whatever you want. Yeah. Like, tell me if you want to play. I have a kid that plays golf, want to learn golf. I said, cool, let's go. But the one thing that they were going to do, and there was no question, was jujitsu. Because it's a preparation for something that may or may not, but definitely will happen. Yeah. It could definitely happen. And I wanted them to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because that's the best way I've heard anyone ever describe jujitsu after like being there. It's like, you got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable because you're going to get your ass handed to you a bunch of times. How do you handle it? Yeah. How do you respond to that? There's some dudes that get suffocated. They get PTSD from being in jiu-jitsu and going through the promotion process where like, oh man, I couldn't breathe full. Like I couldn't do this. It's some scary shit, but I'd rather have that be their first experience of somebody putting hands on them than in the real life version. 100%. And that's what I told my kids. So my kids will not face the obstacles I had, right? I won't beat them. Their mom won't tell them that they ruined their lives. They won't be, physically, emotionally abused. They won't go hungry, but something good comes from all that, and that is being tested, right? Physically, mentally. And so how do you do that? Well, I put him in jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu is going to test you physically and mentally. It is the great equalizer because you can be a billionaire, you can be a strongman, you can be whoever the fuck you want, but once you get on the mats, you're gonna find out. There's no lying. You can't lie your way out of that.
You can't never train and all of a sudden say, I'm going to beat your ass, Steve. That shit doesn't happen, Justin.
Yep.
Take yourself out of the mentality. Go train, fool.
Because, dude, I remember my first jiu-jitsu class. I went against this guy when he started going into Muay Thai, and anytime I would spar him, I was never really scared. I would basically, this is when I would try out new moves and stuff because I'm like, I'm not really scared about it.
Damn, use him as a test case. He's like, I'm going to try this on this fool real quick.
Dude, I fucking ate that real quick. Well, because then my first jiu-jitsu class, my first roll was against him. So I look at him and I'm like, I can take him.
Yeah.
I got submitted and twisted into a pretzel left and right, maybe like 7 times in that round.
Oh, wow.
And I walked home. Not walked home. I got home.
I got carried home.
Yeah.
They unpretzeled me at home.
My wife was like, oh, she's like super happy for me. She was like, how was your first day of jiu-jitsu? And I just tried to like put a fake face and I was like, oh, it went great. And I'm in the shower like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I've been training and competing in Muay Thai boxing for the last 6 fucking years. And this dude did whatever the fuck he wanted.
It's a beautiful thing. I
was
fucking love
humbling,
it.
right?
Dude,
Humbling.
You could come in there, big dick swinging, this, that, and the other, and a fucking 130-pound-year-old youngster, 18, 17-year-old will come in, and you're like, whoa, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I'm a guy. I got at least 100 pounds on this dude, 80 pounds on this guy. What's going on? Technique and just fucking training, man. Because you don't know what it is to be tested until you've actually fucking be tested.
Yeah.
And it's either sink or swim at that time. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but my kids are gonna fucking do it.
I tell my kids like, hey, you can do whatever you want, but you will forever train. And then sometimes my daughter or my son would be like, why? And I'm like, and I tell them, and I'm very honest about them. Like, look, there's bad people in this world. There's people who like to touch little kids. There's people who beat their wives. There's people who want to rob you. There's people who do all this and that. And you have to be prepared for that because believe it or not, as much as I would like to be there every single day of your life,
it's impossible.
One day you will leave. Yeah. And they're little, right? Mm-hmm. And I've been talking to them like this since forever. I've never talked to my little kids like goo goo gaga.
Talk to them as adults. Let them know.
And sooner or later they pick it up. And it works. My kids are
shout out to your kids. How old are they?
Yeah, how old? How many and how old?
I have 3, 10, 9. Oh no, shit. 11, 9, and 3. And they're always the student of the year, student of the month. Their principal tells me like the principal looks at me. I remember when I first picked them up. So like my daily is a 1992 Lincoln Town Car limo on hydraulics.
Got him out the way.
So I roll up into their school, and first of all, the principal was like, "What the fuck is this guy?" And he rolls down his window, and he's like, hi sir,
who are you here for?
Who you here for?" And I was like, AJ and Ari, and his eyes opened up, and he's like, "You're the dad?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "They'll be out soon."
Yeah.
And then another day, he's like, "You know something? I don't really know kids' names because there's so many of them. Unless they're in trouble, that's when I really do know their name. But your kids are a rare exception where I know them because they are so good."
Yeah, bueno, bro.
And then we talked more and I told him a little bit more about myself. And he was like, that's when he was like, "Oh shit, okay, this is
well, it makes sense."
But a lot of credit goes to my wife because my wife is a very strong individual, and I wouldn't be where I'm at if it weren't for my wife. Because behind most, maybe not all, but most strong men.
Check that box. Look at that. Bing, bang. I check it every week, bro.
There's a strong, loving woman. And while I was gone in Iraq, in Afghanistan, or another school,
it can't be easy to be a soldier's wife,
dude,
with children holding it down.
Our first 2 kids, I wasn't even there. Like when they were born, I was away.
Yeah.
Like, when I met my son, he was like 5 weeks old, and then when I met my daughter, I think she was like 4 weeks old.
That's crazy, but fuck,
and she's keeping it down. She's been keeping it down,
How long have you been married?
13 years.
They say, wait, look at you.
Yeah.
Look at what you punking for.
Yeah.
Look at this fool coming in here.
Dude,
unassuming as fuck. This is what scares me about dudes now. This is what scares me about everyone now. You can't go around being a jackass to people. Because you don't know what's back there, fool. Yeah. You don't know who's there to fucking just answer the bell.
And you know what? That has been a problem. And my friend Ryan and I were just talking about this. Dudes have an issue with how I look.
Why?
It was in the special operations community. One, because some of the dudes are kind of racist, and I'm brown.
They ain't no kind of racist. Either
Yeah.
you or
True. They are racist, right? Not all, but there are some. So they would have a problem with how I looked brown, but they would always also have a problem with how small I was. And then this goes from the special operations community to Southern California and the hood dudes. I've been on the podcast, American Cholo.
Okay.
And his I know they broke apart, but his number 2, when I was talking, he was not having it, dude. He clearly, maybe there was something wrong with it, and if he wants to correct it, he can correct it. But from what I saw, he was not impressed. He didn't care about what I had to say. Even in the comments, we're like, dude, that dude is like falling asleep. He doesn't, and it could, because I get it, man. It breaks and hurts people's ego when they see a fucking 5'5" dude do all this and that, and it's almost like an attack on them. I get it, man.
You put it good. It's an attack on them, fool.
Yeah, and
it has nothing to do with you.
and back then it used to bug the shit out of me, but now I love it, dude.
Good.
Now, dude, the bigger the better. Stand right next to me, because, like, for example, we work at this billionaire's ranch because he likes to train, and we'll bring dudes, and he'll bring some of his workers there to come for us to train them on skills and stuff like that. So and talk to us, it makes them physically, mentally stronger, and they learn something as a team, and then they can take it back to his financial world to make
More money.
Right? And one of the guys was like, Angel, how do you do all this? And then he's like, and then you're standing right next to Sully. Sully's this Navy SEAL guy, and Sully's a fucking giant. And I'm like,
typical SEAL guy, probably.
yeah,
No?
giant fucking monster. And I'm like, I know, guys. I know. Back then it used to bug me, but now I'm like, bro, the bigger, taller guy, come stand right next to me. Let's take a picture.
Imagine their ego before you fucking show up. Imagine their ego once you outwork them,
Bro.
out hustle them, outlast them.
And it happens so much.
Good for you.
know, and that's why, people, whether you're not even Hispanic, but just not white, or maybe you are white, but you're not as athletic and you don't have a great background like them. That's why I'm so appealing to them.
Yeah.
And so many people, and from the raza, like, dude, you are fucking so much of an inspiration.
Yes, you are, man.
Because so-and-so, they're now in the military. Now they're a cop. Now they're like one recently that I would talk to. I would tell my wife, like, oh shit, look, he became a fucking sheriff. And I talked to him and help as much as I could. And so it's great that when I talk to people, sometimes I don't know where it goes, right? I could be bullshitting with somebody online, giving them advice, which is the reason why I started the podcast, because my wife was like, hey, I know you want to help these people out, but like, pay attention to the kids. We're at the playground. And I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, but I just want to give this guy a detailed response. So then I started the podcast. So if I talk about A, B, and C, instead of writing them 1 or 2 sentences that doesn't give them enough information,
You delve into
I'm
it.
like, bro, go listen to episode so-and-so, and I talk all about it. And so this information, I don't know where it goes, but it's cool when I'll talk to them and then they'll send me a picture with their green beret or tan beret, for green as a special forces, or tan for a ranger. And then they'll be like, dude, thank you for everything.
Because of you.
And then I'll look in the message and I'm like, oh, bro, you and I talked like a year ago. Oh, fuck, dude. Like, so it's dope.
That keeps you going. That's got to keep that fucking gas tank full.
It does. And that's what keeps me going, because, I want to help out. I genuinely want to help out. I can't be bought. I don't care about money. I don't care about clothes and stuff like that. I don't care about any of it.
Fuck that lowrider too. Give that to me.
Dude, I give
You look nice though. You look nice.
Even when I bought the lowrider, I felt guilty, because when I bought it and made it into a lowrider, I was like, dude, that could have been 2 events for the people. You could have dropped off so much food at the food bank.
Right.
And I understand that mentality if you chose to stop doing what you're doing at the moment of buying your lowrider, but you didn't.
No.
It's continual. It's about a routine, creating a habit, creating something, a new venture, a new path. It's like, what you're doing, man, is doing shit that people like us don't normally do.
Because a lot of people talk the talk, and besides podcasts, because you have to talk, I'm more of a action type of guy. You can, a bunch of the listeners and stuff like that, they can go onto the feed and they'll see all this type of shit that I'm doing. I want to, in this community, Southern California, Latinos, Chicanos, I look, when I think of what my parents did and my grandparents to come to this country to give so much, I don't want for us as people to go only so far. We can do so much more. And there are scenes, movements, and companies that are hot right now. And some of them I follow and some of them I like. But they are not leveling up the community and the people. And it's not a hit on them. And if people know of another person who would be a better representative of the people, please send me to them, because I'm always willing to learn and listen, and I can listen and learn from them. But I'm not going to just sit there and not show our people that, yo, you can do all this and that. You can go work with the SpaceX engineer. You can go work at National Geographic.
Zero boundaries.
You can go become a special operator. You could be an entrepreneur. You can go to college. So something as simple as that to show, dude, I was so dumb that in third grade, because look, everyone in my house spoke Spanish. No one fucking knew English. So at home, all I knew was Spanish. My reading level and writing level were so low that in third grade, I was in the kindergarten and first grade. I would get pulled out to the side and they were teaching me, Sam likes to ride a bike. Mm-hmm. Sam plays with ball. Well, I was in third grade.
Yeah.
We
We can do more, and people need a leader.
There's opportunity out there, man. There's opportunity, and you're doing a lot, and we're doing a lot, but there's still a million more things that need to be getting done.
Yeah.
You coming on all of these different podcasts and just like, talking about what you're doing. You're not amplifying it. You're not exaggerating it. You're just telling your story. Yeah. But your story is so fucking huge and carries so much weight behind it, and a lot of like knocking down of fucking borders. And you talk about it. Our grandparents, our parents, my grandparents came across, by any means necessary to plant a seed so we can fucking have that opportunity. Yeah. I'm not going to fucking let that seed fucking dry out and die just, because we're comfortable. It's like, no, we take what's there and we got to reinvest that shit, whether financial, educational, whatever it is, reinvest what we've learned, teach more people, have more people like you come on. And then that's the way, that's what we give back,
100%. And it was my friend, Michael Dowd, who's a former Navy SEAL, who really helped me. And Bobby Tribal, 100%.
The legend.
They're like, hey, you have to share your story. You have to do more. And one day Mike was like, hey, man, you're like a bridge between worlds.
You are.
Absolutely.
Right?
You definitely are.
And I didn't notice that. There's all this stuff that I don't see and I didn't notice. I was just so busy trying to do my thing.
You're in the eye of the storm. In the eye of the storm, you don't know what the fuck is going on around you. But in the eye of the storm, you are the guy. You're the one creating and maneuvering and starting these things.
And because he was like, look, man, I bet you there's people out there doing a lot of things that you're doing, but there's not that many people that do all of that.
Right.
And continue to go further. Like last week, from Thursday through Saturday, I was at a billionaire's ranch. I am accepted.
I need to get an invite to this billionaire's ranch.
Come on, no,
Who's were you with fucking George Lucas? Who the fuck were you with?
If he lets me, so
if he lets me, I'll bring you over.
And he has his millionaire friends, and he has the people who work with him who want to be millionaires and just like them, right? Just like the head guy. And and one of the portions within the training experience that we do is that the owner likes for me to tell my story. And before that, people have never associated with somebody like me. And I am not, from a low income community who doesn't look like them. It wasn't born and raised in a
You're not
beach
the mold,
city.
fool. You're not the mold.
So when these people hear about me, they'll be like, oh, fuck. Or when we train SWAT teams, I was in New York and I told them my reasoning of why I sold guns and drugs and stuff like this and that. And one of them pulled me off to the side after being there. And he's like, hey, you want to know something, man? I always used to think that all criminals were the scum of the earth and they only do this because it's in their core nature to do evil things and bad things. I never thought that they would do it because their mom and dad are not fucking there. They see this way to provide for their brother and sister and themselves, and in the survival instinct, they decide to just fucking do it.
Oof.
He's like, I never saw it like that.
That's hard to do to somebody.
And then at school, when I talk to them and I go this and that after a political class, one of the students comes up to me. The semester's over, right? The semester's over. He comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Angel, I wanted to tell you that it is an honor to have you in the class. When I first heard the voice that you were a veteran, I didn't want to listen to anything you had to say because I figured you were a certain way and this and that. But when we had our talks, you based what you would say based off of experience and not how you felt. And you made a lot of good points that I never thought of and saw it that way. And then for the most part, people in academia don't like law enforcement and veterans because they think we're from the far right, right? And I'm not. And so that right there, I don't know if he would have an interaction like that or be willing to have an interaction with an individual with my past.
Out of their comfort zone.
Right.
Out of the comfort zone. And now I'm realizing all this.
Yeah.
Because like when I got out, I was trying to find my way. I went through, as you can imagine, when you go through war like that
I couldn't imagine. Not even fucking imagine.
Well,
bro.
it touches you.
Yeah.
It touches you and you can't escape it. So I did have issues that weren't dealt with, not because I was a fucking cool guy and didn't want to cry when my friends got killed, or didn't want to be bothered or think about how weird or dangerous it was while I'm pulling bombs out of the fucking road with my bare hands. It's just at the time, it wasn't the time to deal with it because you have shit to do. And the next day you have something to do. And the day after that. So when I got out, as you can imagine, all that stuff was coming out.
Yeah.
And then me being absent from so much, as you can imagine, on my wife's side, a lot of the stuff that she dealt with because she was so supportive. Anything I ever said I was going to do, she's like, okay, how can I help you? She was never like, no, I'm pregnant, or no, you're gonna miss this anniversary or whatever. I was like, yo, they gave me the option to go to this school. I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay,
You said it earlier, man. And behind every strong guy is a stronger woman, and it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, every guy I know who's killing it on every level right now, they have a wife that's understanding and making sure she's picking up the slack and tying all the loose ends.
And so when it all
For
came
wifey,
out,
though.
yeah.
But just in case she's watching.
So when I got out, dude, I call it the honeymoon phase, right? Like the first 3 months were awesome because my wife is from here. I've known my wife since I was 7 years old. So like her
Damn,
family.
so she's been with you through all of the things, bro.
Yeah.
All of the chapters. The whole
She's
fucking
seen me.
That's
She's
awesome.
seen
bro.
me, dude. And she'll make fun of me. She's like, remember when you used to be a cholo? I'm like,
No, yes.
so like her family's happy, my family's happy, we're happy that we're home. But then sooner or later, after the honeymoon phase, shit started coming up. It's hard to sleep. Questions that I never thought I'd ask myself started coming out. Like, why? What was all this for? Because I'm going to school and nobody or my family members don't even know. They're like, oh, you went to Afghanistan? Like, I didn't even know that was still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when the public and the people are still asking you or don't even give a shit about what you just did because they're so focused on the subject of the week that they're arguing about or caring about, it feels
Material
weird.
things. I need this car. I need this house. I need this thing. I want.
It feels weird when you come home and they're like, you feel like, bro, does anybody give a fuck about
Right.
what they did? And if they don't, then what? Why did my friends die? Right? And then like waking up from it, most of it was in my sleep. Like when I would wake up, like the movie Sicario, when the dude's in the plane and he fucking wakes up.
El Benicio del Toro, dog.
And when I saw him wake up, like how he just like shook.
Jumpy.
Bro, that happens. So I can tell when stuff like that was happening, and within like not just that movie, but other movies, I can tell somebody who knew what the fuck that type of life is was being a helper. What is it? Not a helper. What is it called? An advisor.
An advisor. Yeah.
An advisor. Because shit like that was happening.
Injected that into me. Hey, man, if you want to make this shit believable,
Right,
this is
right.
what you need to fucking do.
Yeah.
How did you cope, bro? What is
So-
it? Have you coped?
I
Therapy,
did. So-
fucking
So
hallucinogenic?
it got so bad, man, to where I moved out. I'm sleeping at a futon in my aunt's house. I'm fucking broke. Like I'm telling my aunt, can I have $5 so I can put gas in this fucking gas tank and go to this job in Newport Beach where these teenagers yell at me, and I'm sitting there like, dude, what the fuck? You were an Army Ranger. You had a house. You had a family. You were the elite of the elite. Like look at what you're fucking doing now. So I'm like, dude, you know what? This is not going to be the end of me. After everything that I've fucking done, no, there's no way. And that's when I realized, okay, so what is happening? Well, two big things happened. I had lost my tribe, you know,
You were removed from your people.
and I had lost my purpose. And a man without a purpose in a tribe is a lost man. So I'm like, okay. So I started inviting veterans from my martial arts gym in my school, and be like, and I would pay for the pay-per-view, the UFC pay-per-views, and I would be like, yo, let's watch the fights and we'll have a good time. And it had nothing to do with fights. It just had to do with bringing the people together.
Community.
So that gave me purpose. And then I started going to therapy, and I started doing everything that could be the best version of myself. And then, you know, going to therapy and all that helped little by little. And I got my family back. But what helped me the most is in a professional setting, I did high doses of psychedelics in a professional setting, along with therapy.
Now we're talking, baby.
Wait. In a professional setting, like you wore a suit and tie, or what's cracking here?
So-
What happened? What going on?
So when Michael Dowd started the company, you know, he loved what I, you know, like who I was and stuff like that. And one day he asked me, this is how you know you're really becoming friends, because he sees me a certain way. And he's like, hey man, I think you would benefit off doing some therapy at this place that I'm going. It's with psychedelics. And I'm like, nah.
Therapy with psychedelics, perro.
I was like, I don't want to do it. And what it was, because I can admit it now, is because I was fucking scared. That's what it
Always.
What was the scary part, brother? Was it the psychedelics? Was it the therapy? Was it both?
Or the combination of
the
both.
psychedelics. Because someone who, like me, who was used to being in control in the situation, is to give
Yourself completely, bro.
Yeah, to a stranger dude, that's fucking terrifying.
Foreign. Yeah.
But Mike would tell me how he used to be before this therapy, right? Mike he's this 6 foot fucking former Navy SEAL. He trains martial arts. So he's like, dude, when I would go to bars and because they're stationed here at Coronado, right? And he's like, you know, if I'd be in San Diego or whatever and anybody gave me shit, dude, I would just fucking head kick them.
Fuck
If somebody beeped at me or tailgate me on the freeway, dude, I would pull over with my gun and because they would flip me off. And he's like, I would come out with my gun and be like, what, bitch? How far do you want to take this? He was so angry. He's like, I fucking hated people. I wasn't happy for anybody. But I'm like, when he was explaining this to me, I'm like, this is not the Mike I know.
Right.
The Mike I know is a loving
The
individual.
new and improved version of Mike.
who cares about his community, who's willing to go above and beyond for people. So when he was telling me that it did this much to him, I was like, you know what? Okay, let me go. Fuck it.
You trusted him and you went with it. Yeah.
So after the first, so what this place is called Field Trip Health.
Field Trip Health. I love it, bro. That's a great name. Se fue el viaje.
They're in Santa Monica, New York, and major cities, and they do ketamine and shrooms. What I did was high doses of ketamine.
Ketamine,
and so after the first journey, dude, when I woke up, man, I was fucking crying, and I look over at Mike, and I just nodded my head, and he was just nodding it back, like, yeah. Dude, and it helped me communicate and open up with my wife and kids. Like, for example, the first thing I told my wife when I went home, I told her, I was like, hey, I know we're about to be married for like 11 years. I know the version that I've been lately isn't what you got. I'm sorry. I realized that I not put you second, but sometimes third, fourth, fifth in the list of things that mattered. And I lost focus of being a great father, husband, friend, lover. Like I'm sorry. And she was just like
blown away.
Fucking blown away because I had never talked like that.
Oh, okay.
You probably never expressed those feelings ever. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And she told me, she's like, you know, I wanted to tell you things for years, but I didn't want you just to acknowledge the words. I wanted you to feel and understand it. And then I told my son and my daughter, I told him, because it was about to be summertime, right? And we're going to take this vacation for the first time. I was like, I want to get to know who you guys are. I realize whether you guys know it or not, I've been gone for a long time in your guys' life. And in reality, I don't really know who you are. Right. And I want to get to know you. And my son started crying, you know, and he said, I'm happy that you're saying this. And I fucking knew it, dude. I knew there was a disconnect between my son and I, but I couldn't put words to it, man. And I knew it. Like we would watch movies, and if I was right next to him, he would just scoot over a little,
Okay.
you know, and or if I'm like, oh, come with me to the store, and he's like, nah, like he.
That would have been a fucking horrible feeling, bro.
There was because I was gone for so long. I mean,
Yes,
dude,
yeah.
when I got out, he was 5 years old, and then I did the math. I had been away for longer than he'd been alive. So like I, in his lifetime of me physically being there, he was 5. I think I might have seen him for like 7 months.
Oh my God.
So the relationship really wasn't established.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So when I said that, then he became closer.
Oh.
He wanted, and now I'm fucking number one in his
Tight as fuck
dude,
right now.
fucking tight,
Boom.
dude. And I don't think I wouldn't have got to that point if it weren't for that.
In serio, you put that much weight into the
100%.
psychedelic therapy.
100%.
All right.
How many sessions? Out of curiosity,
I
multiple?
I
or?
did 4 sessions.
Okay.
And then between that, you do therapy before and after.
Nice.
Wow.
And then I've also microdose, every now and then.
Good.
Damn, I was just gifted some psilocybin microdose drops, man, by one of the neighbors. And he says, hey, we just did a retreat, brought you some gifts. I'm gonna fucking go on, Lynn. See what's up.
I love it too, man. And I love hearing how you were able to tap into the words to be expressive and to be vulnerable with your wife, with your kids. I mean,
That's difficult.
that's such a beautiful example. So touching, man, to hear that, because you're a bad motherfucker. The story you just shared, every aspect, every chapter of your life, you've had to be a physically bad motherfucker, mentally bad motherfucker. And to come to a place where you realize part of your healing is about being vulnerable and not having to be the baddest motherfucker, but being the
weakest.
open.
Yeah, like the most
open.
receptive to things.
It's beautiful, man.
Motherfucker.
Dude, it was tough, but I'm glad I did it, because then after that, then I changed a lot, in which allowed me to open up more towards the community, and then started doing this public speaking thing.
Yeah.
And going more on podcasts and sharing the story, because I don't think I would have shared it the way I did on some of these podcasts if I
Otherwise,
You wouldn't
Yeah.
have the depth that you have, bro.
he didn't have the tools.
Yeah.
He
100%.
didn't speak the language. We talk about that shit a lot, about speaking the language. Sometimes we don't know the right things to say or the right things on how to decipher them. Once you learn that language, though, fool, and you can get in there, you build bridges to the gaps that you had with your son.
Yeah.
You build bridges to the gap that you have with not wanting to do public speaking to doing public speaking, not knowing what to do with all of this information, talent, skills, attributes that you've procured in your life, and how to utilize them. Now you speak that language and you get it done.
Yeah. And so through OG Pumpkin, which is the company name, that is where we're doing a lot of work, because as for the people that hear the story, right, I was doing this long before OG Pumpkin. It just needed a name. And one day, so like if anybody watches my combat footage or pictures, I have like a skull gloves or a skull bandana. I like Halloween. Halloween's always been my shit. So one day I was watching The Office with my wife, and my son made this Miss Pumpkin right here.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be the logo of my company. I made 200 stickers, and within 2 hours, they were all gone. And as you can imagine, by then I was sending it out to all over the world, because bases are all over the world, right? So I was sending them to the bases in Germany, Italy, all over the United States, and in states where I never thought somebody from that state would give a fuck what a Chicano from fucking nothing. I was like, fuck, dude, like all these states. I mean, I know all the people in those states aren't like that, but as you can imagine, the southern states are more leaning a certain way. So I was like, fuck, dude, these people are buying this stuff and willing to
fucking
tattoo
bananas. Yeah, right.
So my first design was
Let me save you the time. Sold out. I've been trying to fucking find a rash guard for jujitsu for the nogi. Sold out. But look at that, man. Fuck. Hey, Casas, how we get on that level, fool? How we get on that level, dog?
So that ghost, right? A lot of people have seen the ghost, right?
Yes.
It's from an old Betty Boop cartoon. The family actually gave me permission.
Oh.
Because when I first made that's actually the main design that most people get tattooed. I call it Just Keep Going. Because as you can tell, he looks like he's hating life. Yeah. And we've all been in that moment.
He's fucking moving it right along, fool.
Yeah, we've all been in that moment in the military, whether it's a selection process or just not regular training, where, dude, we want to fucking quit, but you just have to keep going. Yeah. And also in life, things get dark and they suck sometimes, but I promise things will get better if you just keep going. So that has been the number one design who's been tattooed. So when I was making the shirts, I was like, yo, man, I don't want to get in trouble. And I sent an email to the family because obviously the original artist is dead.
Mhm.
And I sent them an email of who I am, what I do, pictures and videos of the events. And I'm like, hey, if you want me to quit, I'll do it. If I had to pay royalties or whatever I'm sorry. I was just trying to do something cool for the community. And they're like, we love it.
Nice.
You can keep using it like you're using it. Like, this is what we want the art to live on.
That is
and,
awesome.
and do something
man.
great.
That's fucking great.
So
Keep
people are like,
going.
yo,
That's
how do you
awesome, man.
fucking do it? And I'm like, dude, I was just open to the family.
I'm gonna see you getting a tattoo like that soon. Justin.
I love it, man. I love it because, you know, even saying keep going. I mean, again, going back to the beginning of the podcast, that's really been your story. Is just keep
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Now it sounds like you're finding a way to help your community attack to that same kind of love that
Mexican
you
Marvel character, fool. This is the fucking
Yo.
the superhero we've always been looking for,
dude,
dog.
I told what did people from, well, I went on the Instagram page, This Fool, right?
Yeah.
The show, This
okay,
Fool,
yeah.
and other big things. Like, yo, man, if you need help from somebody who's actually been there, done that I can either be in it or advice. Like, yo, I'll help out just to help out. I don't even want fucking payment. I just want to help out. So, you know, if I can do this, so the younger generation is like, fuck, like I can fucking do that too because he
Yeah.
looks like me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We're business owners now, fool. We're group
Yeah.
leaders. We're community leaders. We're the motherfuckers starting trends, continuing them, building for future. There's always that generational wealth. You know, that the term that you never really
Yeah.
know until you get older. It's like, oh shit, this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how it's been done forever. We're not on that level. But the guys like Angel are slowly getting us on. The guys like you, Justin,
Yeah.
guys like me, guys like Casas, guys like all these fools, man.
Dude,
We're slowly battling for that.
The days of us being at the bottom and being treated like shit, those days are over.
Gone.
And not only are they over, I plan on taking it to the next fucking level. I've been in areas, even though I have been accepted in all these little areas that I've been at, I've also seen it. You know when you see it, when it fucking hurts them that I'm there. It fucking hurts them that I'm in that studio with them, or where I'm at this event, or I'm in this unit. It fucking hurts them, dude. That's why even fucking more. Like, I got the Mexican flag tattooed on my hand, you know, and I got the American flag too. But
You jab them with the Mexico and you hook them with the right.
dude, I was like, even more. Somebody, because I got the American flag first, so and somebody asked me like, "Yo, man, how come you don't have a Mexican flag on you?" I was like, dude, to the people that hate to see me and be there, I'm a walking, talking Mexican flag.
There you go.
Right. So I don't need to get the Mexican flag. I mean, but even though I was already planning on getting it, but I was just waiting because I purposely wanted to get it at tribal headquarters.
Nice. Who gave it to you?
Avocado Man.
And, oh, nice.
Because I got this from an active duty service member.
Okay.
And then I was waiting for Isaac. Actually, Isaac. from
Isaac, I was gonna say, yeah.
But he was in Japan.
No, ese güey siempre está viajando, bro.
Yeah,
That fool's
so-
always traveling, though.
So I had the American flag for so long, and I'm like, fucking Isaac is always doing big things. Good for him. But
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, come to the fucking States. I
Yeah.
need you. So then Bobby's like, try Avocado Man. And then
Try Avocado Man.
he hit me up, and I was like, bro,
That fool gets down too, though.
Let's
There's nothing
go.
but fucking winners out there.
dude, I've gotten nothing but compliments on this one. They're like, dude, it looks fake. It looks like a
It looks like Justin
Sticker.
licked the top of your hand and then just placed that
Yeah.
sticker on there.
Yep.
You're good at that.
you know. So
I lick hands.
So I want to take it that far. And again, I asked my wife, and when I was talking, I was like, what do you think about everything that I'm doing? You know, and she's like, well, it's you there. It's do you want to take on that responsibility? I'm like, well, I know you helped me out so much during my special operations run and me being in Afghanistan and Iraq, but like doing this, you know, she's like, and she's all for it. She's like,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's 100% for it. So in any event, she's always helped me or be there. So like sometimes I'll do an open mat and I'll have, and this is how much people love what I'm doing, that I've been at tournaments and 10 Planet guys and Gracie Baja Jiu-Jitsu guys have my fucking rash guard on.
Nice.
And these are gyms that traditionally hate each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they're fucking rocking it.
You're bridging the gap again, bro. Bridging gaps.
You know, so one of the biggest things that I do is sell rash guards. And
I know, motherfucker. I've been trying to buy one. I can't find one, but I've been trying to get one.
Dude, what size are you?
XL. Not for long though.
I got you, dude.
Not for long, Justin. Not for long.
Maybe give him a double X. Just in case.
Dude, so I've been listening to this and watching it for a while now. And first of all, it's fucking dope to be here. I can't believe that I'm fucking here.
Déjate de mamar, bro. It's dope to fucking have you here,
Yeah,
fool.
for sure, man.
And go ahead, tell me we've lost weight since you first saw us.
No,
we get it. We understand completely.
So before, when you guys were first actually doing it, you started talking about it, I was like, fuck, I can fucking help them. This is what I went to school for. You know?
Fuck. Pay attention, Justin.
Yeah,
So I'll tell you right here, right now.
Tell
Some of the problems when it comes to losing weight or being healthy is we underestimate the calories we take in and we overestimate the calories that we actually burn. When you go, like, let's say run. When you run, you burn about 100 calories per mile. So think about it. If you eat a fucking make whatever sandwich that's 500 calories and change, you have to run.
McDonut. This motherfucker's ate a
I had
donut.
half a fucking donut, bro. Half a fucking donut.
You have to run
Yeah.
5 miles minimum just to burn it. So you have to be, to lose 1 pound, you have to be at a deficit of 500 calories per day.
How does that equate to Peloton miles?
It's also up to the intensity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you can do
80.
miles, whatever, or you can fucking kill
Yeah.
it, right? So a pound is about 3,500 calories, right?
Chinga su madre.
So you need to be in a deficit of that to
see
a pound.
results. Yeah.
So which would equal 500 calories deficit in a week. So right, because 5 times 7 is 3,500 calories. We intake a lot of calories in sugary drinks. When you buy juices at the store that say 100%, legally they're allowed to put that label 100% because, and this is the kicker, there actually only needs to be a certain percentage of real juice in there for it to actually be
classified as that.
So unless you squeezed it yourself, that is nothing but sugar. A lot of coffee drinks have a lot of high calories.
Just black. Maybe some other half and half cream. Are we looking good there still?
Light, yeah, you're looking good.
All right.
Better than the better than that.
Déjate mamar. What about me says mocha anything, fool?
Nutrient dense foods is your way to go. So, but what does that mean? That means
no calorie burritos is all I'm hearing.
It's in low calories, high in nutrients, right? And healthy doesn't mean you have to eat boiled chicken. No. The game has changed. Healthy food tastes fucking amazing, right? And it doesn't mean, and you should never eliminate everything because 9 times out of 10 people fail.
Yeah. Going
cold turkey of I'm going to stop this and that. No. What you do is you take away little by little, right? So if
methadone style, bro.
So if 5 days a week you go to a Burger King, try for like a week or two, and then you're like, yo, that was kind of easy. Well, then do 2, and then before you fucking know it, you will not be going to Burger King at all.
Never been, Angel. Never been to Burger King.
What about McDonald's?
And McDonald's, see.
There you go.
But I haven't been in months. I'm doing my best. I just fuck, dog. I'm gonna start sending messages like, hey man, I'm at 220 pounds. I need to get this. I just want to get back down to 205.
You're slowing down, as I am going to say. You started off week 1.
Yeah, hard. For 2 weeks I hit hard, and then this last week I said, I'm gonna take it easy. But then again, today it's picking up. We got fucking boxing today. We got jujitsu tomorrow. Okay. We got fucking nothing on Wednesday. Then Thursday it's jujitsu and boxing. Then the fucking bike rides, and then throughout the week it's just Peloton. The diet is what I don't want to change, fool. That's where I'm the most hard headed.
Yeah,
it's like I'll just eat less.
You can never outwork a diet. You can't unless you're a marathon runner. So when I was running marathons and ultra marathons, that's when I could cheat the most. Because you are burning so many calories. Like, so training up for an ultra marathon, Saturday I would run a half marathon. Sunday I would run another half marathon, and I would fucking eat nachos and pizza.
No problem.
And I was looking good. Yeah. But unless you are running high fucking miles, you will never outwork a shitty diet.
I run my mouth. That's about
Eliminate
it.
the
fool.
sugar, right? Eliminate
Yeah.
the sugar of all kind. Drink a
So,
lot of water.
You know the drink. So some tricks here and there, right?
yeah.
To get it going. One, never go cold turkey. You will fail. You will go back to it. Not only will you go back to it, but you will
Probably go back heavy.
Go back heavy.
All right.
That's what people tend to do. Eat big salads, and still reach for that. Like for me, it's chips. Eat big salads. So eat your meal. Eat a big ass salad. You will be more
Like
filled.
with ranch, you thought bacon bits. No,
bacon.
Bacon.
Bro, I'll see people grab salads
Go
and
ahead.
then they'll do the ranch dressing, the bacon,
yeah.
the croutons.
I'm in.
And I'm
sold.
like, you're
backfired.
you're defeating the purpose of what happened right now.
But I had a salad, Angel. You said I could have a salad.
Dude, that's my aunt. My aunt would be like, I had a salad. I'm like, yeah, I saw you drench that shit.
You know, see, but it's swimming in ranch soup.
Yeah, it defeats the purpose.
All right. Fuck, man. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn, fool.
Hey, I'm on
drink
target, bro.
a lot of water. So you're supposed to drink about 30 milligrams of water per kilo. So some people might be like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Cartel talk. Go ahead.
So you weigh yourself and you Google it, right? Like 160 pounds and a kilo, right? And then you multiply that by 30 milligrams. And nowadays, most people have the Nalgene bottles that have the ounces.
That has everything. Yeah.
And then just convert that to ounces. So that will let you know that's how much water I'm supposed to drink. A lot of people actually reach for something to eat when they're actually thirsty and need to drink water, and and not just water, micronutrients. So like what is
Pay
it?
attention, fucker.
Like the
Pay
little
attention.
additives. maybe?
Yeah. What is the liquid IV?
Yes.
Liquid IV is fucking perfect, dude.
Okay. Gus, write this shit down. Go ahead.
The body needs a lot of micronutrients. Most people talk about the macros, right? So protein, fats, and carbohydrates, which is very important. And it's not that one is more important than the other, but you need micronutrients because there's a lot of chemical reactions in your body. You actually burn more calories just laying down than you would do a workout. Like for example, let's say I run 5 miles and you burn about 100 calories per mile. So that's 500 calories, right? But my metabolic rate and how much I burn just to be alive, because I've been on the scale and stuff like that, is about 1,600 calories.
All right.
Right. So your body does a lot of chemical reactions to make hormones, not just testosterone. You got to make enzymes and stuff like that to break down the food and
We're
so on.
failing, bro. All of that. We're fucking. What did you start at? What was your starting weight?
222.
Okay, mine was a 229, and I'm at 222.4 this morning. What are you at?
I'm at 218. I was at 212 last
Wait. So you were
Wednesday.
talking shit to me right now, and I'm the one that stayed
I'm
consistent.
still going down, dog.
Me too, dude. 229 to 222 is
I want to
7.
see the scale. You didn't show the scale.
Nah,
dog.
fuck, my dick was showing the reflection. I sent a picture of the scale, fool. I sent a picture of the scale, and then I sent it, and I looked, it's like, those are my balls. I can't fucking take a picture like this anymore. No, so I'll take you a picture when I get home. But
I want the scale.
for me, I just like I need to stay focused with like working out, doing jujitsu, doing the boxing, doing all of these things. And it's true. I don't want to cut out eating. Like last time we made a fat steak, bro, and I was like, all right, gonna make this, that. I just have to slowly dial that back.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like this year is different than any other year we've tried to like fucking do this in the sense that we're brothers. All of us involved in this shit, we're all brothers, and we all hold ourselves accountable to a certain level. And I feel like we're gonna do it this year. Yeah,
And
my goal is just 200, but 200 where we can take his stress course.
Yeah.
Go up fucking north,
First.
bro.
Let's lose
Go.
that shit.
Wait, we should take the fucking stress course first. See where we at. Come back, reassess, game plan, strategize,
again.
learn,
How
and
about
then
put
hit
it
it
on the
again.
calendar for
Yeah.
March, so
Yeah.
we at least know we got it fucking
February,
ready.
bro. Let's go in February. Let's get this shit done. No, because this is the entry level one. We go in February, we get our asses handed to us, and then we fucking all right, fuck, balipito, dog. I thought it was better than that. Turns out I'm fucking useless. And then you go back and
Throwing
you
up,
fucking
dude.
and then they good. And then you come
Shoot
back
your
and we
toe
plan,
off.
boom, boom, and then we go back again like in May. And then we see where the fuck we're
Rolling,
at.
dog.
Boom. Bro, I'm gonna look like John Wick, bro. I'm gonna be doing shit, bro. We gonna get that done, bro. How does that work? How do we sign up? Where do we go? What are the rates? Let's get these people
So-
out there to you.
So we run a bunch of courses, right? So some of our more favorite courses for students, we take vehicle and law enforcement and other agencies that we train. We take vehicles and we shoot and we teach them how to shoot inside and outside. So there's certain ways that are better than other how to manipulate your weapons when you are being attacked from the outside, and then vice versa.
Damn.
Where
really?
to
The
be
outside dog.
Yeah.
where to be when you're shooting and moving around a vehicle, because Hollywood makes you think that a vehicle is bulletproof, but it's not. It's only certain areas that actually are beneficial to you.
I feel you're talking from Santa Ana times and Afghanistan times currently, my friend. These are things that are true.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So we do that. We have pistol courses, rifle courses, shotgun courses. We also have some physical and mentally courses, like, so we call it Over the Beach. So a bunch of our cadre are Navy SEALs, active duty and former. So they'll do Navy SEAL style workouts. For you guys,
Yeah. Can I not sign up for that one? Fool?
where to start off?
Yeah.
A simple pistol course,
Cool.
Yeah.
right? We'll run through the basics in the
We've
beginning.
never shot guns. That's allowed. Hypothetically, just saying.
Yes,
We've never shot guns.
yes.
That's good.
We take in beginners. We have beginners.
Sideways?
No sideways.
This way or that way? This way. Fucking Justin's gonna come back with a wooden leg. You're gonna totally turn into the fucking dude from American Me, the white guy fool. Hey, Charlie Carnal.
And we can even, depending on how many students it is, we can provide firearms
right.
because some people don't have any.
Yes, that'll be us.
And so this could either be a public course or a private course. And in some ways, it's cheaper to do a private course.
Yeah, we want
if you-
private.
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass ourselves or fucking look like weenies in front of other people. Fool. I'd rather look like a weenie just for you. You know, this weenie is for your eyes only.
Well, if you have a big number,
What's a big number? What are we looking for?
at least 6, 8.
We can do that. What's it cost? So we know what to tell these
8
motherfuckers.
heads
So,
cost how much
okay.
for pistols?
So before I even go with the cost,
Well, you know it's big when before I even tell you how much this costs, let me tell you the benefits of what we're buying. Shit, wait, I'm ready. Fuck.
because
Get the checkbook, Gus.
somebody was like, yo, this is pricey. And I tell them, how much is your life worth? How
I love it, dude.
Get it, bro.
how much is the life of your
More on
wife,
Friday than
your
on Tuesday.
girlfriend, your kids, your grandma, your grandpa, your community?
$200.
How much is it worth?
How much is it worth?
So, so we have a minimum of 100 an hour,
Good.
right?
How many hours are these classes?
You can do a half day,
Uh-huh.
which is 4 hours, or you can do a full day.
All right, we in.
8 hours,
You in,
right?
Gus? You in? I know Pedro's in this motherfucker. Oh,
Like
shit.
Four bones a person, right?
Oh.
Ba, ba, bum, ba,
No.
bum. The whole course?
plus the range fee and stuff like that.
Gosh.
So
It's
no,
on,
we
dog.
good. Let's
I want
go.
2 guns.
And where is
dog.
this? Where are we going?
Silmar.
I don't even know what that means.
Silmar
Is that like in the Middle East? Where is
LA.
that? Oh, LA, cool.
LA. It's an outdoor. There's that range right there. It's an outdoor range, right? We go there and we can do our thing. So
Live ammunition.
yeah, dude, we'll provide all of that. All you have to do is show up.
I love
We
it,
can
man.
do that. We can fucking do that.
You gonna be there, bro, when we go?
Yeah,
All right.
and you can request me and be like, "Yo,
I'm only
I
going
want
to
him.
Angels there,
Yeah,
bro. I'm only
dog.
I'm by then I hope to have an OG pumpkin fucking rash guard. I'm just gonna wear it all the time and I'm gonna be like, yo.
We got some rash guards on the side. We got some.
Oh, look at me. Oh,
Hey.
a la verga. Hey. Ah. No, si puedo, güey. No, boom. He goes, never want to give me a high five. I was all in. I'm in, bro. You sold me. You've captivated
We
me.
do that because I know that some communities are against guns, especially in the low income communities where their only gun interactions is through gang members. But you have to be ready to prepare to take care of yourselves. And COVID should have opened a lot of eyes, and it did, because business was booming after that. Because a lot of people realized, fuck, like there's not enough law enforcement to take care of me, especially during the riots. They're like, I need to be better prepared for myself. And I get it if you are scared for guns, but trust me, we will change your way. Like, for example, we had a student bring his dad, and his dad was a high school teacher. And he's like, dude, I'm against guns. I'm only here for him.
Yeah.
And he was asking me, how come you cops don't fucking shoot people in the leg? And then he went through the whole training, and he's like, now I know why they don't shoot him in the leg. This is hard.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a fucking Hollywood movie where you point shoot and you're killing like 20 dudes.
Alec Baldwin.
It is not.
Right.
You know, Yeah, fuck.
For no reason, you're talking shit on fucking Alec Baldwin,
Alec
fool.
Baldwin, dog.
You nasty
Yeah.
motherfucker.
What
Go
a
ahead.
dumbass, dude. I like him.
Is he to blame?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Well, because this is coming from motherfuckers that have never done gun safety.
Okay, so
Because I feel like if I'm at work and somebody says, all right, homie, go ahead. I'm like, all right.
bro, when that happened, I literally just came back from working with National Geographic, and that was my fucking job with the other person, whoever the fuck it was, to do their fucking job. That only happens when the advisor isn't doing their fucking job and isn't qualified. And most people in Hollywood are not qualified. They just happen to work in a movie or two, and then now they're like,
All of a sudden, their fucking credit goes up and they're about it.
Now they're fucking superstars in this and the subject matter expert when they're fucking not. And then him to shoot that gun, that just doesn't happen. It doesn't go off by itself.
Right.
You know, like you can even watch some of these videos. If you can get a loaded Glock and fucking smash that motherfucker on the ground, and it is not going to shoot. A lot of
You gotta
these,
squeeze it.
yeah, a lot of these, yes, you have to pull the trigger. So in order for that individual to shoot, to be killed, he had to point it at that person. I'm not sure if it was a guy or girl.
It was a woman. It was a woman.
And pulled the fucking trigger.
And aimed it at her.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like we give a lot of credit to people that shouldn't have credit, like NFL stars, NBA stars, celebrities, that they all of a sudden are some fucking subject matter expert because they have the fame, right? Just because Alec Baldwin has been in fucking a lot of movies and shows doesn't mean he knows how to work a gun. There's so many
But
people.
he's been in that romantic comedy. It's complicated.
It got complicated for him real fast.
Ese way, fool. Poor guy. Not really,
Because
but whatever.
any individual that would know how to have the basic skills to manipulate a weapon, that would never have happened to him.
They would have known to check it first, or
Well, first of all, they would have known to check it, right? To check if it was loaded, and then to pull the trigger and point. Like you pointed the gun and you pulled the trigger, and that's how it's shot. And that's poor training. And if he has had some training from other people, yeah, bro, come to us because we'll fucking teach you.
Get it, fool. This is the motherfucker you need to hire. This is the company you need to hire right here, man. Get it done. Look at you, man. We're going in. We're fucking going in. This is the year that we better ourselves in every component, bro. We're reading more. We're talking to fucking interesting people who bring value to the table. We're going to mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically break ourselves down and build ourselves up this year, except for Gus. You know, because he's already there. He's already there. He's already doing his thing. But everyone else, I feel like we are in a position where we're meeting the right people. We're shaking the right hands, and we just need to develop these relationships. This is a fucking rising star.
well, I see Angel as being, getting me and this dude all psyched up to do better with our lives is probably.
I wanted a taco before this. I don't want shit no more.
Fuck that
fool.
taco.
Nah, man.
It's probably a great
Burpees.
representation of what you do on the day to day, man. And talking to people, connecting with people, getting people motivated to live their best lives, man. So
I appreciate that, man. And it somebody asked me one time, they're like, hey man, you know a lot of people are watching you. And I was like, yeah, no. He's like, no. Do you understand a lot of people are watching you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you ever get stressed out? I was like, no, because I just have to be me.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask people not only to judge me for like when they hear that I donated the kidney, I do a lot of stuff for the low income community. Don't just judge me for all the good things that I've done. Also take into account all the bad things that I've done. Because I've done a lot of bad things. I've been a lot of vocal about the things that my failures and stuff like that, because I am not perfect. But I feel like I'm to the point where I can help the youth and the people. I've had a lot of people be like, yo, dude, I look up to you, and you're younger than me. And I don't tell that to anybody. And enough times that I'm like, fuck, dude, like
A lot of pressure with that?
at times, yeah. But not pressure to act a certain way, because this is who I am. I make people
Pressure to keep it going.
yeah, just to keep it going and not, fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, you're not faking the funk,
Well,
obviously.
No, I'm not. But Bobby did tell me, and this is years ago, before everything came. Bobby told me, he's like, you're gonna get money, you're gonna get fame, you're gonna get people wanting to be in your social circle. He's like, you're gonna get women, and you're gonna get drugs be in your face. Stay away from that.
Yeah.
He's like, keep your circle small. Stay stay in your path. Don't get lost because you're gonna get lost
Isn't
and
that
it's gonna
crazy?
go forever.
Bobby be telling that same speech over and over and over, fool.
I
And
love Bobby.
That just means
Yeah.
it comes from a place of like, I believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think that's where our connection is. Our connection is Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby said, yo, man, bring him on. Reach out to him. I'm going to give him your information and he's going to reach out to you, make this happen. And as soon as I started just looking at what you were, I was like, Cincho, let's go. Let's go.
Bobby's such a great guy, man. And he's been helping me
He's
so much.
aight. He's aight, bro.
He's
No cierto, mira. Hey, 20% off. Emo Brown Social Club card. Hey, say, wait. Not guilty. I have a feeling he won't be guilty, fool. Bobby gets down.
He does, man.
Bobby is this guy. Currently, Bobby is this guy for all of us. I feel like Bobby runs the
Godfather,
show,
dude.
you know?
Fuck
He
yeah.
runs the show, but he doesn't do it with the sense of like, what's coming my way.
Yeah.
It's more like, I've been there. Let me teach you guys so you guys can keep doing this thing and push it. You guys are the next level. Steve, you got to run for politics. Steve, you got. And I was like, I ain't running for shit, bro. Said, I'm not going to do any of that. All I want to do is talk shit, have fun with my friends. But along the way, you know, turn people on to new people. Turn people on to Angel Cortez. Turn people on to fucking Justin Lib for the third.
Yeah.
You know, Gus, fucking El Compa Ryan, El Pinche El P-Taps, Casas. Like, I want to introduce. I feel fortunate that I hang out with a bunch of heavy hitters. You know, I feel like the circle that I surround myself with, everybody around me brings something of value to the table positively, you know?
Yeah.
And my job is just, let's go. Let's promote everybody, fool. Everybody that's fucks with us, let's make sure that they have a proper platform from which to spit their shit and have a good time. And at the long time, everyone's learning. You are the embodiment of that to the next level.
I appreciate that. And because look, I don't know the exact numbers of Mexicans here or Latinos in general.
Right here, 1, 2, 3, pretty much everybody, Angel.
No, but I'm talking about the
my
United
bad.
States, and there is not enough leadership or representation in it. And this isn't even coming from a like super left side where we're not being represented. No, there's just isn't enough leaders there for our voice to be heard. When if somebody wants to correct me, and I'm pretty sure somebody will, there's a lot of us here, maybe
Yes.
even more.
We ain't going nowhere.
And we're not in certain levels that we should. And that's the path that I'm going. And that's what when Bobby was
I
like,
love it.
Bobby was like, yo, you need to run for something or whatever. I don't think I need to run for something to be a leader.
Stay in your lane, do your thing.
And I'm going to keep doing that. And it's going to go higher and higher. I mean, I had dinner with the LA sheriff the other day, and people were like, what the fuck? And I told him, I shook my hand. I shook his hand, que diga, and I was like, hey, my name's Angel Cortez. I'm a former Army Ranger, and I used to sell guns and drugs. And
And he's like, just, there you are, outstanding warrants.
his fucking aide was like, what the fuck? And we're in Beverly Hills, right? And she's like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, hey, based on the laws and restrictions that have been placed on you is making your job difficult. I appreciate somebody like you is still out there trying to fix the situation, because you're not going to fix the situation with hugs and kisses. And I told him, coming as a former gang member who sold guns and drugs, what I would label this time right now is the golden age of crime. I did a lot of things and I had to be careful on how I would do it. Now these criminals, because I still have the mind of a criminal, like I see it in a criminal way. There's no I know, dude, like serious fucking thugs are like, bro, they ain't fucking stopping me. They're not gonna stop me. And a lot of these people are fucking savages to the point where you're seeing it attack the vendors, attack people's businesses, not just go. Like I used to rob drug dealers, and I loved it because the criminal isn't gonna go to the cops.
Yeah.
These people don't give a fuck. There is no respect. They're attacking grandmothers, kids. I saw a video where a high schooler got fucking jumped for the phone, or people's businesses were like, bro, what the fuck is going on here? And it's because the restraints and restrictions that are being in place on the people that would fucking calm down the animals.
Mm.
I told him all that, and the fucking aide was like,
That's an icon. That's heavy shit, Justin. Are you ready?
I love it.
Are you ready for all this that's coming?
Look, I hope you go whatever direction you want to go. You obviously can do anything you want to do. You're a bad motherfucker, and I'm a fan. I think that I point out what I'm hearing as well, besides your ability to influence and represent Hispanic communities, right? But you respect unrepresented communities, man. And you show that there is power in believing in yourself. There's power in being resilient. There's power in listening to those around you, because most of the part of your story is there was someone in your corner that shed a little bit of light, and you were open to listen, and you're open to use that. And to me, that is all the makings of a beautiful human being that's going to do great things. And
100%, man. Because sometimes I'll go on these big podcasts that lean more to the right, and they're like, "We need more people like you that fucking pick up themselves from their bootstraps." And I'm like, and I correct them right then and there. I'm like, "Look, yes, I did a lot of work, but my life really changed when I stopped blaming the world for my problems. I took accountability for my actions. And no matter what happened, I kept driving forward. But along the way, people saw that and were willing to help me and gave me a lot of their time and energy. So it wasn't a me thing. It
takes a village, man.
It was people were giving me stuff too. So this whole pick yourself up by your
Some motherfuckers don't have bootstraps to pick yourself up from.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like when people like from the outside looking in and say, "Yeah, you picked yourself up." Yeah. I mean, I picked myself up from something. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but I kept going. I didn't stop, and that's the embodiment over here, bro.
Yeah,
the fucking embodiment of it.
And I was just smart enough to fucking listen. And that's one of my best attributes. And one of my first section leaders told me that. He's like, you know what your best skill is? That you just shut the fuck up and listen. And that's hard for people.
Yeah.
People to just shut up and not give their opinion, not give their 2 cents, not immediately dismiss somebody and be like, what can I learn from them? And then actually apply it. And he's like, I wish more people fucking had that because they'd be better soldiers.
I learned today about keep going. And we're going to fucking keep going, fool. We're going to go up north. We're going to go to Silmar. We're going to take some cash. We're going to pay this young man to teach us how to be men. And we're going to bring them shits back. And we're going to learn. And we're going to be, hey, this is our year, man. Thank you very much for coming down here, Angel.
Thank you.
Angel Cortez. Cheers to you, brother.
My brother.
I'm happy. Fuck, you lead, we follow. We're going, oh, fuck. Really?
One more.
All right, fuck, you lead, I follow. Fuck it, Nimo.
You're the one who poured a big ass.
I'm all in, bro. Whatever it is you do, whatever it is you need from us here in South San Diego, South Bay, Chula Vista, all of the parts down here, we got your back, and we're all willing, committed to helping you spread the word, man. Real talk.
I appreciate it. I because it's not a me thing. It's a we thing, and there's not a community and a movement without people. So I appreciate you bringing me out here. I've been a fan as soon as I heard about it. There's so much good shit in the world that you don't hear about everything, right? So I was lucky enough to hear about this, and I look forward to every fucking show. I'm fucking cracking up.
Cálmate, güey.
Dude.
Damn. Gus, listen. He's cracking up. He's laughing. Let me connect that dot. We're funny. Angel, by all means, bro, though, thank you very much for coming down. We appreciate everything. It's a pleasure to fucking get to know you. And we're going to keep this going because we ain't going to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, Angel Cortez. That was awesome. Thank you very much for coming in and teaching us. And we're going to go up, man. We're going to go up. We're going to sign up. Send us a link where to sign up. We're going to go.
That'll be fun. No, everything. We do shots.